Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of GGEZ. Of course, from Gamezo, I'm your host, ICanGoPro. Now let's talk about the Subliners. The Subliners just took home their first ever title as a squad in their own home series. And two of the players, Mac, a newer one on the scene, and Temp, who has a much longer history in the game, just got their first taste of a real victory. The home series definitely took a lot of twists and turns, especially for Toronto. Now, I'm not saying they're a bad team, but you don't really see them too often in the playoffs. But this time, it was different. Toronto has made a home for themselves in the bottom of the leaderboard for most of the season now, but this time, they did the impossible. They took out the Atlanta FaZe. In an insane matchup, Toronto took FaZe Clan to Game 5 and won it all. And the reason that's so crazy is because no one has done that since moving online. Every time a match has gone to Game 5, FaZe Clan clutched it out. With Toronto knocking out Atlanta in that playoff stage, two players really shined out. Cammy and Kleenex. These two guys were at the top of their game, and they really showed why Toronto has a standing in this tournament, why they deserve a spot in this league. These guys are coming back with a vengeance. I mean, it is a little late into the season. We have about 2 more series until it all wraps up in CDL championships, but better late than never. So congrats to Toronto with this minor achievement, because they didn't go all the way, as you can see from the title, but also not a minor achievement, something that they should be proud of. They got some CDL points, they moved up, and they broke a little bit from the pack at the bottom, the muck and mire of the Seattle Surge and the LA Gorillas. Those boys, let's not get into them. But either way, FaZe is going to have to do some more homework, do some more practice to make sure that this doesn't happen again. In the series against New York, Toronto didn't stand much of a chance. While they did put up a good fight against the top team in the league, when it came to the home team advantage, New York definitely had one and swept Toronto 3-0. The first map of Ramaza went back and forth. New York, Chicago on each point, and it was a back and forth match, head to head, neck to neck. These guys were going 1 for 1 on each point. It was super close. But on the final points in Ruins, Zuma got a fantastic flank, very decisive in giving New York the advantage so they could hold out the rest of that timer and get the clutch win. On Ramaza, New York is known to be pretty solid when it comes to search and destroy, and they proved themselves for sure this time around, winning 6-4 against Chicago. When it came to the final map of domination on Hackney Yard, New York once again came out on top in the beginning, setting a score of 88-64 in the first half, which was a huge advantage going into the second half of that map. Now, while they were doing well in the first half of that map, Chicago, led by Envoy, swept behind them, took A and B and wiped the entire team, giving them an advantageous position, but they couldn't hold on to it. New York came back and destroyed whatever advantage they had gained and won the map. This put the nail in the coffin for the series, and it gave New York its first championship ever. In a fantastic series, these guys finally came out, they finally clutched out their first win in their own home series, something that's only been done one time before. And while these guys have been improving on their own, the main reason that these boys are coming back is the addition of Mac. Not to say he is the whole team, but he is the glue that put these guys together. He is what was missing. You know, in the beginning of this season, they had multiple guys. They had Zero, then they had Happy, and then finally they switched him out and brought in Mac from the Challengers, and Mac is what made it all come together. So, with the addition of Mac, these boys have steadily been climbing the ranks, and now they jumped up to 5th place. They're going to have another chance next weekend at the London Royal Ravens home series to pull out some more COD points, and this time neither Chicago nor Atlanta will be in attendance, so this is going to be their time to run up, get some more points, and maybe even get into a 4th place position. Because right now, with 130 CDL points, they got a lot of ground to cover to try and jump over Dallas Empire, who's sitting at 190. Either way, when the Subliners want to make another play to get higher and higher in the standings, we'll be here to cover it. Next series is going to be this Friday, the London Royal Ravens home series, and when it's over, you know we'll be here to cover it. Until then, I'm ICanGoPro, and this is GGEZ.